Hi everyone, it's Chelsea from Little Mountain Ranch and Cypress as usual. I think I should change my channel name to The Cypress Show because he's pretty much in every video that I do if I'm outside. Today I wanted to share with you guys some of the things that we have coming up in 2018 and some of our projects and our plans. And instead of just talking to you about it, I thought I would take you around the farm and show you some of the things that we have going on, coming up, and then reflect back a little bit on 2017. So 2017, it was a crazy year for us here, and I think it was a pretty crazy year for a lot of people in North America for just a variety of different reasons. In some ways, it was one of the more difficult years I've experienced in life, and in another way, it was also the year that I really feel like I learned the most about what's really important, and for that I'm super grateful. I also learned about my own vulnerability, and that was definitely uncomfortable. But in learning about my own vulnerability, I really feel like I have a much more clear view of what it is that I need to be doing with my life and the direction I need to be heading as far as preparedness and homesteading and the whole thing that this channel is kind of based around. We experienced the BC forest fires and we were evacuated for 2 months, and during that 2 months we weren't able to work. We also experienced an illness with one of our sons that was a life-threatening illness, and we weren't able to work for a couple of weeks due to the fact I was in the hospital with my son and my husband was at home with the rest of the kids and wasn't able to work because he was looking after them. So we experienced job loss or temporary breaks in being able to work, which is something that a lot of preppers talk about preparing for. And we also experienced a natural disaster that forced us to actually leave our home, which is where we sort of had ourselves prepared to stay in the case of an emergency. So the biggest takeaway for me of 2017 is to be prepared in as many different ways as possible and for as many different scenarios as possible. So going into 2018, a lot of what it is that we're going to try to do on our homestead has to do with being prepared. What it kind of look like for you guys is I'm going to share with you our journey of learning some new skills, particularly around food storage, food preservation, and also learning how to cure our own meat, process our own meat. I do a lot of our butchering, but I haven't learned how to cure yet, so I'm really excited about learning how to do that. And it's also going to be about learning some skills that I have been wanting to learn but haven't actually ever got around to. And that would be like hunting and fishing. I would really like to learn archery. So there's just a whole gamut of things that we're going to be working on. One of the main focuses is going to be around food and developing our gardening skills so that we can grow more food, both for the growing season and also for wintertime. So for foods, for being able to store food, root vegetables and things like that. And I've always gardened on a pretty large scale, but I have never done permaculture type of gardening. I have done some deep mulch stuff over the years, but I've never really gotten serious about it. And this last year of severe drought that we experienced here, I learned a lot about the inefficiencies of bare ground gardening. So we are actually going to get a wood chipper and chip a bunch of the branches that we ended up with huge mountains of branches from our logging when our logs were processed. And we are going to make some massive piles of wood chips and use those to do deep mulch. I'm also going to try some hugelkultur beds and some other kinds of things. I'm just starting to learn about it now, but I'm really excited about that. And I'm also excited about learning about how to do that and then being able to share that information with all of you. We also have some fun things going on in the next couple of months that mostly have to do with home improvement kinds of things. Actually, that's where Farmer Dan is right now, is up in the house I'm just getting ready to start laying our flooring in our living room. So we have some fun kind of videos like that. And we're also going to do some more farm vlogs because I know that you guys really like that, and large family vlogs interdispersed in amongst all of this other stuff that I was talking about. The first thing that I want to do is take you down to our root cellar and show you one of the projects that I have down there that's kind of connected to this whole idea of being able to store food. And then I want to take you around the farm and just talk to you and show you some of the other projects that we have coming up for 2018. Look at how beautiful this frost is that's growing on my root cellar. I have never seen anything like that before. Oh, I wonder if I can get in here without knocking it down. It's too beautiful. My root cellar was built in around the 40s, we think, and then it was updated. There's little spiders hanging from the roof in here. And then it was updated in the mid 70s. Our thoughts are at this point is that we're going to dig it out and build some shelving in here. This root cellar actually works incredibly well, but it just doesn't have quite as much floor space as we would like to have. I'm going to just see if you can see a little bit more of this. So basically it's just a big cave, and there's these pillars, concrete pillars that are holding up a concrete roof. And these are just pallets, and these are bins that I have some root vegetables stored in. Things last incredibly long in this root cellar. I'll show you this carrot. So this carrot was actually put in this root cellar, not last September, but the September before. Cypress, out of the way. And it's still crisp. It doesn't taste super great, but it definitely, Cypress, out of the way, buddy. It doesn't taste great, but it's still crisp. So this root cellar is amazing. I just want to make it a little bit more functional. So that's one of my projects for 2018. So my passion projects for this year are around foods. I just showed you the root cellar, and that's a really important part of my long-term food storage plan. And this garden that you can see behind me, I don't know if you can see that, but up there, I am going to be focusing a ton of my attention on developing a permaculture style vegetable garden. I've done deep mulch gardening before, but for the most part, and especially since we moved here, I've been doing bare earth kind of traditional gardening. And one of the things that I experienced when we were evacuated was that my garden did not hold up to the drought conditions. Our sprinklers had to be running on all of our buildings and keeping the areas around our house green. So the garden got neglected and it didn't do well. My sister, on the other hand, was evacuated for an equal amount of time, and she planted I think it's pronounced hugelkultur bed, which is basically a deep mulch idea, but you use like branches and twigs and hay and compost and build up a really good layer of materials for the plants to grow in. And even with 2 months of no water, she still got a really decent harvest at the end of that time. That really convinced me that permaculture was the way to go. So our plan is we're going to buy a wood chipper, and we're going to chip a ton of the branches and brush and things that we ended up with after our logging was completed. There's a ton of stuff up there. So we're going to chip huge mountains of that so that I can use that in my garden. And I'm going to try a couple of hugelkultur beds and other permaculture ideas. I'm really new to it. I would love any suggestions, books, videos, recommendations that you can give me for anything that has to do with permaculture, because I have definitely been converted to that way of thinking. So that's something I'm going to be focusing on. I just got my seed order done and going to be sent off. So I'm going to do a video on that and show you what it is I'm going to be planting this year. I have frost all over my hat. What I'm going to be planting this year and how I'm sort of laying my garden out. We took a trip when we were evacuated up to a place called Fort St. James in the northern part of British Columbia. And there was a garden there that was designed after kind of a late 1800s style garden, just the way it was all organized, and it was beautiful. And I really want to both make my garden functional and beautiful, so I'm going to try to kind of copy that layout for my garden and see how it goes. And that's something I'm super excited about. And of course, I'll be doing tons of food storage stuff, drying, fermenting, canning, all of that kind of stuff that I promised you this past summer that I wasn't able to follow through on. I will definitely do a lot of those videos. I actually have a series of videos that I'm working on right now, that how we eat, what it is we eat, why we eat the way that we do, and how we feed this many people. Mindy from Life Goes North asked me about this the other day, just said, you know, it'd be really interesting to see how you feed this many people. And so I'm going to work that into a video series around showing you my bulk food, my long-term food storage. I haven't really gotten into a lot of that with you, but I'm a little bit of a prepper, and I have a working prepper pantry that I've been developing over the last little while. And so I want to show you all that, show you my bulk food, all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be like a heavy food related year, I think, for us. Now, there are some other things that that are sort of not passion projects of mine, but are things that I am wanting to do just as sort of improving my skills. And one of them has to do with, this here is Ivy, and this is Benji, whose butt you can see here. They are our quarter horses. I can ride a horse, but I'm not what you would call a horse person. They actually intimidate me a little bit, and one of the things that I want to work on this year is learning how to ride horses really well. And I have a fantasy of doing a backpacking trip up into the mountains with my horses at some point in the upcoming season. So that's just sort of something that I'm really excited about doing. And Aurora is going to join me in on that because she is absolutely horse crazy. As far as livestock guardian dogs go, we are shopping around now and keeping our eye out for the perfect livestock guardian companion for Cypress, who is going to need a buddy because Ben is going to be taking his dog to his place in town shortly. So that's just an exciting extra fun thing that we get to do. You can see back here, there we go, our chicken tractors. We raise turkeys and meat birds. So that's something we're gonna do again this year. And we're gonna hatch out a bunch of our own eggs, which is always fun for the kids. So our goal on our farm is to eventually make enough income that we can be home full time. I know it's an ambitious goal. Farming is not usually a money-making proposition. However, we are optimistic, and we've tried over the years several different kinds of livestock, and we really love doing cows, but we don't have enough hayland on this property to do cows in a way that's actually going to make us money. So it's funny, they have this huge giant shed in the back, but they all pack into this little tiny one. Hi, buddy. That's my boar peeking his head out there. Hello, mister. And there's Big Mama. That's Franny, the big gigantic sow. So anyway, our idea with our pigs is to sell weaner pigs in the springtime, and then, which are 8-week-old piglets that have been weaned. Primarily we'll be selling those and sell some actually processed pork. But our biggest plan is basically with the weaner pigs. From what we have researched and all the people that we know that have been doing this for a long time all say that that's sort of the way that you're going to make money with pigs, and then you don't have to feed them and everything else too, which is kind of nice. And then our second thing that we're doing with our pigs, and I've shown you this before in other videos, but I will show you again. Out over here is a lummocky field. Lummocks are those big hard bumps of roots and grass and things like that. They're really hard to deal with, but we want to convert that into some pig pasture. Cypress must have found something up there. And then up on this mountainside and a little bit over here, we want to make some mountainside pastures. What we would like to do is to try to get our pigs during the summer months eating primarily pasture with some grain supplementing them. We're just going to do a couple of different experiments with growing them out and see what works. So yeah, that's kind of the plan with the pigs. And I have, like I said, lots of pigs having babies. So there'll be lots of baby piglet videos, and I'll try to get a couple of farrowing videos for you so you can see that. It's amazing. Lastly, when it comes to the animals, we have our milk cows. This is a Jersey Cross calf, and that is Bluebell, our resident milk cow. Her little one, Fireweed, right here, who was born just after the fires. Basically with our cows, we've sold most of our cows. We're just keeping a couple of, one cow that produces really nice beef calves for us, and then the rest of them are dairy. We want to have 2 dairy cows going so that we always have, we're always in milk. So we'll basically breed them at different times so that we can always have milk year round. You've met my mom and my mother-in-law in past videos. They are actually opening up, they're both artists, and they're opening up a shop in town, and we are going to be selling our honey in that shop, which is really exciting. This will be the first year that we've sold honey. So hopefully if all these hives make it through, and I did check them the other day, I have that video coming up probably after this one. I checked the bees and they are doing well, so hopefully they all make it through and we're able to sell honey by August, which is really exciting. All these different income streams, we're trying to basically have as many income streams coming out of the farm as possible. So that's one of the things we're working on that we're really excited about. After filming this video, I'm heading inside to finish up some of our renovation projects that we have going on. So I'll be interdispersing those throughout the winter. We're hoping to get a whole bunch of renovations done over the winter before spring sets in and we hit the ground running for all the farming stuff. But today we're putting in flooring, I'm drywalling, I just painted our fireplace, I whitewashed our fireplace yesterday. It turned out so amazing. I have a video coming out on that as well. But those are just some of the projects that we're going to have coming up in the winter time to carry us through until the farming season really gets going. One thing that is just specifically related to YouTube that I'm excited about is that we're working on some collaborations. If you have not checked out Jake and Becky at White House on the Hill, you have to go check them out. I'm going to link a video that they just did the other day in the description box below, and it's the 10 top homesteading videos of the year. And Jake did an amazing job with that video, and he listed some of my favorite channels, so I'd really like you guys to go check that out and like and comment and subscribe and all of that. They are an amazing channel and they work really, really hard to put out great content. Okay, my friends, I am heading back inside to get my renovating hat on. Farmer Dan is already in there starting to get the flooring laid, and which is super exciting for us. Everything's super exciting right now, it seems. Nice change from 2017 where things were just strange. It was a very strange year. I don't think I'm the only one that feels that way. It was a bizarre year. But I'm choosing to be optimistic about the future and choosing to look at life with positivity and excitement, and I hope that this channel continues to be an encouragement to all of you out there. We look forward to sharing what we're doing here on Little Mountain Ranch with you going on into 2018. Happy New Year, everybody. Bye.